food or drink or anything?
Yeah, I was sending an email.
Oh, gotcha.
What's up?
How you doing today?
Loving life. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, but holy shit, your department is fucking embarrassing.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Brother, Frost asked me, name the issues that the PD has and what's the solution. Please, for the love of God, tell me that there's some like level of like just and then I throw it on top of like Slacks telling me that the solution to PD morale problems are speeding cars. Deca, there's got to be some people that can answer the question, what is it that you guys need? Are you our savior, Deca?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's anything that the mayor can do that's gonna help PD morale. If I'm being blunt.
Okay, well, you tell me.
A lot of the PD morale is simply because, I mean, I'll just say it, like, I literally made a U-turn right there, and some dude came rocketing at me at over 140 miles an hour, slamming into a tree, and then taking off laughing about it. So, there's that. And then there's people who, you know, pull stunts like storming MRPD to shoot cops and storming the city hall because they're not happy with something that isn't going to change in less than 20 minutes.
The city hall thing was do you know how the United States was founded?
Yeah, we dumped the tea. I mean, they dumped the tea.
No, we did.
Oh Lord.
I don't think we're part of the U.S.
But we are. What do you mean?
San Andreas isn't. I got yelled at for talking about it in court.
What?
Yeah.
No, we're like Puerto Rico.
Part of the US. Yeah, well, yeah. That's how I took it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so those things. A lot of the other morale stuff comes into play of you know, comments that are made by members in the PD that don't make any sense, like, you know, it's High Command's job to pick people up and keep them going, and I'm like, I barely ever see High Command do anything of the sort, or unless they're making, you know, a decision that makes no sense. There's, I mean, Command's doing pretty well in my opinion. Command's been around and been helping out. It seems like people are more focused on promoting people because of the time they've been in and not because of the quality of officer they are, which is a little unfortunate.
Wait, say that last bit again.
People are more focused on adding officers to their roster based off of time in the PD as opposed to the quality of officer that they are.
Agreed.
They're more concerned with making sure people, in quotes, have their shot at certain positions and they don't get walked over, not walked over, but like passed over.
That's dumb.
I mean, to a degree, I agree. I agree that people should get the opportunity, but at the same time, if they're not going to be a good fit for that position, then they shouldn't be in the position.
Wait, so people are getting positions to see how they're going to fit it there?
No, I'm saying they're getting positions when they don't fit the billet.
Wait, but then why are they given the position? I'm confused.
Because they've been a cop for X amount of months, weeks, years, so
oh my god,
they should be put in that position.
Holy shit.
At least that's how it looks. I haven't seen anybody be promoted that it hasn't been like that yet.
Oh my god.
I definitely think that people in command have the ability to do things that command members should be doing, and I think a lot of them do have command qualities. I just think that the reason they were promoted was not the reason that they should have been promoted for. So there's that. Cops constantly feel like they can't do their jobs without, you know, somebody shitting their pants in the cells.
I mean, but that's gonna happen. That comes with a job, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, literally and metaphorically.
Oh, like people actually pooping themselves?
Yeah, we're tired of people. We're kind of cleaning up people's shit in the cells.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
normally when it comes to like majority of command structures, they say that shit rolls downhill. For some reason, it rolls uphill in PD. The training standards have severely slacked. I myself have literally rewritten the entire cadet handbook. And I don't even know if it's been approved yet.
Wait, why are you writing it as a senior?
Because nobody else is going to do it.
So then why the fuck are they in command?
I'm in the middle of rewriting the FTO handbook, or not rewriting it, but making sure that it's up to date. I got to go through the SOPs, make sure they're up to date. I got other people are helping as well. It's not just me doing all the work.
Yeah.
Like the P&T leads are a great help with that kind of stuff, and they're actually on the same page with me in terms of making sure that people are at a held to a certain standard and whatnot.
Oh my god, dude!
And
What the fuck?
standards
I'm
are slacking.
spiraling.
We don't want people to be anal and RoboCops, but at the same time, we don't want them to be morons in the middle of the street. Or at least I don't. I don't think that the current chief or assistant chief want that either. I don't know what happens behind closed doors or what happens in the background or behind the scenes or anything like that. So for all I know, Ruby and Barrett could be in constant meetings nonstop. But from what I can tell, Ruby is patrols, but anytime that she is patrolling and she takes lead of a scene, she seems over emotional about the scene and doesn't take logic into effect or into account. And then Barrick,
she doesn't, because she doesn't have any logic. I'm gonna be honest.
She has her moments, but a lot of times I'll try to explain something to her, like the legal side or the like, hey, this isn't going to be legal to push. It's not going to go in our favor, and she just wants to. She doesn't really listen. And then I either work it through her or I figure something out that'll like is a median or whatever. With that, Barrick is great at being chief, but it feels like he's just kind of like I could give a shit less at this point. Like he's just kind of chilling. I think he does do high command stuff, but I think, like I said, I think he's just chilling. I can't speak for BCSO.
So, I mean, being a member of LSPD, who are the command that you lean towards for making comprehensive, logical decisions?
I don't, but I'm not an average cop. That sounds really egotistical. It's not meant to be.
But who tends to? Okay, well, who tends to be leading the department?
Probably McNulty. He's the shift 2 lead, so he's usually like leading. He's usually doing the major stuff for shift 2.
And then what about the other command members?
We just recently got Bay and Bell as sergeants. They do the job, I guess. I don't know what happens like at a command level. They could be doing stuff that I have no idea about.
Yeah, but don't they pass information down to you?
To what degree?
Well, I mean, like,
an example.
So Barrack has a policy change. I presume it would go through, McNulty, who then passes it on to command, that then informs the rest of y'all how things should be.
Half of a sarcastic answer, but also half
of a real
answer. No, because I'm perfect and I don't need to be told what to do.
Okay.
I just kind of know how to act as a cop, and I know how people should be acting as cops. So I know what should change and what shouldn't change. And I think that if I haven't been approached by command about anything specific saying handle this one way or another. I get asked to like look into things that happen, but I don't, like, if an officer does some dumb shit, or if I need to look into a civilian complaint or whatever, I'll do it. But I don't have to, like, I don't get told by command to change how something's supposed to happen.
Oh my God. Okay. Who should be chief of police? Give me a top 3.
Top 3? Oh, Jesus. Do I have to give them in a specific order? Like
No.
Number 1,
no,
number 2, number 3,
no,
or
no.
just any
Just
3?
like any 3.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my God, it's over.
McNulty.
It's over. It's fucking over.
Everybody in any shift. Hang on.
Oh my God.
Viv would be really cool in high command. I'd love Viv in high command.
What about her in as chief of police?
Yeah, I could see her as chief of police. She actually wants things to change for the better, and her and I have always been on like similar pages with stuff.
Hmm.
I'm assuming this is like a survey. I can't say it myself. I don't know. There's not a lot of people in PD that have the mental fortitude to handle being in high command or chief of police.
The thing that the struggle, right, is there's people that are gonna have their performance on the street, but chief of police is very much an administrative role, right?
I think that's the biggest concern is that
like McNulty, right? I don't know if he'd sit behind a desk.
he doesn't want to. No, he would not be good as
Yeah.
a chief. I think the thing is that the chief can patrol, but the chief just needs to know how to say no to people when it comes to useless meetings.
Well, it's not even.
Like-
I don't care about meetings.
Well, no,
It's about enforcing. I'm gonna give you an idea, right?
Okay, go for it.
And this is the most recent example. Marlo Stanfield pulled over in a traffic stop, named as the suspect prior to approaching. He produces an ID, says Marlo Stanfield. There's a disagreement as to whether or not he can take off the mask, right? Obviously, a lawful order can be provided.
What happened yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay,
That guy's
go
a
on.
fucking moron and should be fired.
I don't think Ventura should be fired, but I definitely think he needs a long talking to. I had to explain to him myself that we no longer have a mask mandate. That the mask mandate does not apply when they're detained. I do think that it should go to court so it can be discussed. But at
No.
the same time,
No.
I do believe that if somebody is, I'm a firm believer that if somebody's detained or if, they are to be identified by police, they should not have a mask on.
I agree with that. My problem isn't even that it should go to court, because the amount of fucking brain dead shit that keeps getting thrown on the docket, like this bullshit that I'm hearing Slacks have to argue in court right now about, like, for investigative reasons, moving someone to the police department. They spent 40 minutes, Deca, in that courthouse talking about whether or not moving a detained individual is an arrest or not. Like, this is not the shit that should be filling up a courtroom. This is not the shit that should be taking cops off the street. And
I mean,
in
I think
relation,
it would be nice if they had a review process of court cases before they went to court.
I don't disagree, but my point about the mask thing is that when Marlo steps out of the vehicle, why is this fucking cunt Ventura thinking that he needs to escalate it to an arrest when the guy steps out of the vehicle, right? That should inherently be like, okay, the guy's cooperating, put him in cuffs, take the mask off, leave it at that. You know what I mean? But to bring it down to the cells, and demand that he's gonna get charges pressed on him is so fucking brain dead, because inherently, and he didn't get the point that I was trying to make. He said some cunty shit. I said this is how shit escalates in traffic stops, and how people start driving off on police officers, and eventually leads to people just shooting. Yes, we can just say, we could come down the conclusion of, well, they're going to shoot us anyways, right? But you have to, there needs to be some thought in the top of the police department, as well as the mayor's office, is how do you create an atmosphere where that isn't an option? You know?
I think, and this has been an issue for quite some time. This hasn't just been, the past few months. Biggest issue is that people forget in the PD. People in the PD forget that our job is to de-escalate, not escalate unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand or don't know how to handle themselves when, granted, it's confusing to people who are new and don't really know what's going on, but whenever you're an officer, you have to either, it's a very thin line between you need to de-escalate as much as possible, and then you should not be hesitating when you need to like pull the trigger. You need to do something to like end the situation. So for example, if I'm doing negotiations, I need to be trying to de-escalate the whole time, but as soon as I see them, stab the hostage or shoot them or whatever, I'm going to start popping shots into the building. So it's like, I think people just need to, I think that's a big part of it. I think de-escalation is not used as much as it should be, on top
like
of the fact that people hesitate
right?
too much.
Like, even in terms of discretion, like, what fucking hill, like, in my, like, what is the point of making this situation go to court? I could give a fuck. I'm not even going to be the attorney. It's more the audacity of it. You know what I mean? It's like dying on such a bullshit hill. Because here's how I look at it, Decker, right? Is I saw the shootout that took place at the courthouse, right? I saw the idiocy of going after Mission Row. And my problem with that is the messaging is, in my perspective, the messaging from some segment of the police department is they're going to shoot us anyways. Look at what they're going to do. Fuck them. Right? But also from the position of civilians all the way up to felons is, well, if the PD pulls me over, I'm going to get arrested anyways. Right? And I think at some level, I think we have to realize that this is Los Santos and not New York. Right? That maybe if it's a fucking stolen car and there's not a belief that it's much more, just tell them to get out of the fucking car and leave it alone. And that's kind of the direction, just straight up, I'm looking to go. In fact, I'm going to go even further and say I want the LSPD is the leftovers. And I'm not saying you're a leftover or McNulty's a leftover, but the point is that BCSO cherry-picked their officers, and you couldn't get rid of the ones you probably don't want in the department anymore. You get what I'm saying? And it's going to need to get rebuilt up. And the reality is that the city is going to have more crime than you're ever going to have police officers for. And I'd rather to start to think about creating an environment where you can handle a healthy number of calls while there's a focus on building up a culture and building up numbers so that you're not always stretched thin, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think right now the issue isn't so much that, again, I don't think it's so much that it's the leftovers or they're cherry picking or anything, which those are true technically. I don't think that's as much the issue as it goes back to just like a lack of quality over quantity, I guess. I understand that like the process to get into PD is not easy whatsoever, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, I had an app in for like 2 or 3 months before I finally got hired. And some people have been waiting like 6 months to hear back or anything like that, which obviously there's an extensive process for a reason. But I think along with that is the fact that whenever we bring somebody in and we train them, you have FTOs teaching the same topic but teaching different ways of doing it. So then somebody ends up messing it up because they're having 2 different people teach them the same thing but doing it different ways, and then they get confused between the two. There's no clear-cut like curriculum. There's no clear-cut training. It's just simply people are saying, this person wants to be a cop, I'm going to teach them like the quickest way to do something and get it over with. That way they don't have to be stuck here all day or whatever, instead of making sure that it's done properly and done correctly the entire time.
Well, I mean, the other thing that I'm seeing is y'all keep hiring people and they keep disappearing. So it makes me question who the fuck's deciding who to hire. I mean, is that a reasonable like take? You get what I'm saying? Like I've seen the academy. What was it like last week? And then there was one before that, and there was like fucking 40 motherfuckers running around. So like, who the fuck is picking who to hire?
So a lot of that's based on FTOs as well. There's only so many. There's like a handful of FTOs, if that, per shift per department. So, and we make it very strict that if you applied to a specific shift, you can only patrol on that shift as a non-solo cadet. So there's a high likelihood of the reason you're not seeing a lot of the people that you were seeing go through academy or whatever is probably because they're not able to get taken out by an FTO. Which normally we try to, like, if somebody has a hard time getting an FTO over a few days, we should be trying to schedule something with them, and that normally does happen, but there's times where people just aren't able to get a shift in.
Interesting. It seems like the math is off somewhere. You
I mean,
keep in mind, like, I'm looking at it from the outside in. I see 40 motherfuckers running around the airfield, right? Like, last week. And then a month ago, it was about another 40 individuals. And somewhere along the process, where are the 40 people? you get what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
are people leaving? Like
to my knowledge, the P&T department isn't really that old. The biggest issue, in my honest opinion, is that the P&T department is not that old and it's not that fleshed out. They just kind of threw it together real quick. So, I mean, that's why I've been working with P&T to try to get their stuff like updated and whatnot. But
why are you having to do all this? I'm confused. Like, keep in mind, like, I don't know, you're like a super soldier or whatever, but like, to me, I'm looking at a sergeant, and it sounds like you're taking on responsibilities of a command member. So
well,
what the fuck's
I've always
happening?
been doing the job above my rank.
Okay, but that's fucking brain dead. Like, I'm not saying what you're going out of your way. I'm saying, like, why the fuck is... Okay, so this, to me, Deca, to give you my perspective here, is anyone that achieves more than they're supposed to is a good thing, right? So I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. But to me, it's a little confusing. Like, it's like if Tilly starts doing starts getting all the bar shit all together, right? That's not even in Tilly's job description. To me, that's telling me that someone that was given a role isn't fulfilling the role.
Yeah. Okay. Cops are getting held up. I gotta go. Last thing I'll say is that it seems like a lot of people don't feel like that when they're in positions that they have the power that they're supposed to be having in that position, and they feel like they have to constantly have people looking over their shoulder and constantly have their approval for everything that happens.
Okay.
So,
all right, Deca, we'll talk more. Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're the only one running for LS that I'm aware of, so I'm sure you're gonna get it.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack, I swear to God. Oh my God, chat.